Shabbat Shalom. That would help.
Shabbat Shalom. If you hopefully you have a prayer book, you should also have a piece of paper that has, it's the wrong one. On one side it looks like this, and that's where we'll be starting a little bit later in the service. So it has 3 readings on it I'll be asking you to do with us tonight. Everybody have everything. We're going to begin our service in just a few moments, and I'm Rabbi Barbara Goldman-Wortel. This is our soloist for this evening, our cantorial soloist, Rebecca Goldstein, excuse me.
Gladstone. Gladstone.
Somebody typed it
It's
wrong
probably
here.
a typo, yeah.
I am
that's
sorry.
a typo.
Yeah. Rebecca Gladstone, and I apologize there. Okay, so Rebecca is with us this evening, and she's been with us before, and it's good to have you again, Rebecca.
Thank you.
And we will begin for Highest Refugee Shabbat. Our opening song will be Hine Matov on page 10. Hine Matov, and there's a part in English where we repeat after Rebecca.
Hine Matov u'manayim shemerachim gam yad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai.
At this time, I'd like to invite our President, Mark Lamb, to come forward with some words of welcome and greeting.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Okay, so I've got a lot of things to tell you about. Some you heard last week, but I'm going to say them again. First of all, this Sunday is Cantor Nelson and Dr. Alan Mason's concert, Sunday afternoon right here at Temple Israel at 4 o'clock. It's going to be beautiful. It's her songs, part 2, Cantor Nelson's brilliant songs and prayer songs, and Tefillot, part 2. So please come. It's going to be something great. I want to tell you that on Thursday, doing Torah study on Zoom and in person. And we had the first one last week. This will be another one on Thursday. I recommend it to everyone. Like I said last week, it's really a great feeling to hear some Torah in the middle of your workday and then go right back to work. It was a great feeling. And if you didn't make it last week, please come this week. That's Thursdays. But getting into chronological order, on February 5th, Tuesday, is the Sisterhood Book Club. And again, like I said last week, they're discussing the book called The Hidden Life of Trees, which is a great book. Even if you haven't read it, it's worth just tuning in to hear their insight. And talking about sisterhood then, on February 9th is Sisterhood Shabbat. The theme is Reproductive Shabbat. And that's going to be something very, very moving. But then, on February 23rd, we have the Beatles Music Shabbat. And wait till you see what they do with some of those songs. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds especially. So it's really going to be something spectacular. So that you must be here for. That's February 23rd. And then we're going into something I said we're very, very, very proud of, very pleased to present to you. February 29th, Thursday night, Rabbi Yiska Smith, be with us. She's been described as a trailblazer. Her personal story and her journey is incredible. I don't want to give it away, but you can read about her on her website. She is someone who specializes and teaches how to live an authentic Jewish life. And I think that's something that is going to be really a really beautiful, insightful, amazing experience. So that's Thursday. It's free to the temple. It's free to our members. Thursday, February 29th. Just register for it. And of course, if you are interested in sponsoring an oneg, we're always looking for more sponsors on that. And again, I want to also remind you about May 19th, our big gala. There's going to be a silent auction. There's going to be a raffle. There's going to be food. There's going to be Broadway music and all sorts of other things. So look forward to that on May 19th. So we've got a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on at the temple, and I'm excited about all of them, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So next week, Sisterhood Shabbat is also Rosh Chodesh, Adar, for the first month of Adar this year. We have a leap year, and so that is the case as well. And we also are honored for our highest refugee Shabbat tonight to have a guest speaker as well, who I will be introducing a little bit later in our service for us to learn more about some of the things happening locally as well. So why Refugee Shabbat? Because to be a Jew is to know the heart of the refugee, because our people were refugees too. Jewish history begins with Abraham and Sarah leaving their home and going on an arduous journey to a land they did not know. As they took their first steps on this journey, Abraham and Sarah did not know that their descendants would later become known as the Wandering Jews, as Jews traveled from one home to the next to escape famine and persecution through the centuries. And our ancestors first went down to Egypt to escape famine, and then they left Egypt in great haste to escape persecution. After making it through the wilderness and eventually establishing a home in the land of Israel, the Jews were then exiled from this home, first by the Babylonians in the year 586 before the Common Era, and then again in the year 70 of the Common Era by the Romans, who destroyed the temple in Jerusalem. Since this period of exile began, the Jewish people have been refugees, expelled from land after land and kicked around the globe like a soccer ball. We know the heart of a refugee, and in the aftermath of the horrific attacks of October 7th, 2023, the world feels different. While Refugee Shabbat is an opportunity to stand in solidarity with the more than 110 million displaced people around the world, we know that this year in particular, we are also thinking of those displaced by the Hamas attacks in Israel and the work that HIAS is doing there as well. The refugee experience is not only a part of our history, it is a part of our present, as our global Jewish community continues to include those who were persecuted and forced to flee their homes in Europe, the Middle East, and in Africa. In 1948, in response to the Holocaust, the United Nations chartered the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and Article 14 of the document declares, "Everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy in other countries asylum from persecution." At this time, I would like to invite you to read with me the special prayer for Refugee Shabbat, a reflective reading, as this Torah portion for this week is Yitro and includes the 10 Commandments. One of the 10 Commandments is not to worship idols. So on the piece of paper that you have, it is the one that's a single reading on that page, and we'll read it together. We are commanded not to worship idols, not to put anything before God, not the golden calf of easy answers, and not the hewn pillars of our own self-righteousness. The idols that can pull us away from our truest selves are fears and fantasies, worst-case scenarios, and delusions of grandeur. These idols have the power to inhibit our ability to imagine different and better futures, to open our hearts to other people, to trust in our own strength and the strengths of our communities. This idolatry is the most tempting when we are sad, scared, and angry, or when the world feels overwhelming and we want to give in to despair. It is at those moments that our practices of rest and reflection, gratitude and generosity, justice and joy can remind us of who we truly are and reground us in the work of who we are the work we are here to do. Together on this refugee Shabbat, we commit to setting aside our idols. On this refugee Shabbat, we commit to creating a world of justice. On this refugee Shabbat, we commit to creating a world of compassion. On this refugee Shabbat, we commit to creating a world of welcome. We continue with the singing of Hevenu Shalom Alechem, which means we welcome you in peace. Hevenu Shalom Alechem.
Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alechem.
We continue in our prayer books on page 2 as we prepare to light the Shabbat candles and also bless the Sabbath wine. So page 2, and we're going to come down. We light 3 candles, 2 of the traditional ones we light for Shabbat, and the third that we continue lighting until all of the hostages are released from Gaza.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikneh shel Shabbat.
Before we raise our cups for the Kiddush, for the blessing of the wine, Shabbat, I want to share a reading with you. Here. Ozi v'zimrat Yah, God is my strength and my song. Standing on the far shores of the Sea of Reeds, our ancestors sang in honor of their own aching muscles, sore from slogging through the mud of the seafloor. And they sang in honor of the miracle of their freedom, Ozi v'zimrat Yah, vayihi li lishua. My strength and God's song rescued me. Every time Jews have fled from persecution and oppression, from the Inquisition, from the czars, from Ethiopia, from Hitler, and beyond, it has taken our own labor and effort, our own aching muscles and bleeding fingers, and it has taken miracles. Not every miracle is as visible or dramatic as the parting of the sea. Sometimes a miracle is an extra space found in a caravan or on a ship, a kind neighbor sharing food or hiding children, paperwork lost or paperwork found. Sometimes a miracle is being welcomed in by strangers who become friends. As we lift our cups for the Kiddush blessing, as we remember the effort and the miracle that brought us out of Egypt, we commit ourselves this year to being the miracles for the newcomers in our midst, to offering the support and the welcome once extended to our ancestors, to those most in need of it today, to lifting their burdens, to easing their efforts, and being for them a song of God. Kiddush, page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'e kodesh, zeher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodeshecha be'ahavat uvratzon hinatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
We continue with the singing of Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, and I spoke about the words from the parting of the Red Sea. And in just a minute, I will tell you the page that it is on in the back of the book. My apologies, because I'm pretty sure it is here. The words are Ozi v'Zimrat Yah v'Lihi li Lishua. Page 343. I continue with a mother's prayer. And is written by Elizabeth Tombasio. I hope that the day never comes that I will need to flee my country in pursuit of safety or a better life. I pray that if I do, it's not as a result of violence and that we don't have to leave our lives behind with nothing but a bag and any remaining family members by our side. If circumstances ever forced us to flee, I hope we are not called animals and treated as subhuman criminals simply because we want to live. Should it be so dire that we are forced to separate from our children with the hope that they will find a better, safer life, if it were so very bad that I would rather they leave me, go on their own in a new country with nothing but faith and hope in their pocket, I hope the world will care for my priceless children and not discard them or simply let them fall through the cracks. We continue with the Baruch Hu, with the call to worship. On page 28 in our prayer books, please rise in body if you are able. We all rise in spirit. We read responsively the reading Welcoming the Stranger on your paper. It's on the other side from the reading we read earlier. You can sit with us. You can live beside us. You can play your music. You can listen to mine. We can dance together. We can share our food. We can keep an eye on each other's kids. We can teach each other new languages. We can respect traditions. We can build new ones. You can ask for a cup of sugar. You can ask for directions. You can tell me when things are hard. You can tell me when beautiful things happen. We can listen to stories. We can disagree. We can agree. We can come to understandings. You can wear what you want. You can pray as you feel compelled to. You can love who you want. You can sit with us. We continue now with the Shema, the watchword of our faith, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue on page 36 with the chanting of the V'ahavta. You can find the English of the words we're chanting just beneath.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher Elohim etzaveha ובשבתך בביתך, ובלתך בדרך, ובשומך ובקומך, וכשרתם להוד על ידיך, והיו לטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאליהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. We continue responsively once again. Sorry, I am incorrect. I'm sorry. Elaine and I are going to do a two-part reading for you at this point, leading us from the V'ahavta to Michamocha. Okay. They weren't Israelites, our neighbors down the way, but they were slaves like us.
I asked their son if he could keep a secret. He nodded, so I told him what my mother told me. We're leaving for Egypt tomorrow, all of us. Pharaoh has abused us long enough, and we are not going to take it anymore.
I've already packed my bag. There's actually nothing in it except a day's supply of matzah. We don't have time or money for anything more.
Can I come too? Asked the neighbor boy.
I'll ask my mom, I said. Instead of a simple yes or no, I got a whole lecture. My mother is right. Your freedom is the same as my freedom.
Yes, we are all in this together. We cannot march to the promised land alone.
I want to give credit to Rabbi Ahuva Zaks for that reading, which leads us into Michamocha, the words that the Israelites sing together after the parting of the Red Sea, page 40. Again, on the paper that we handed out at the bottom of the page, it's a prayer written by Rabbi Karen Kadar, and he entitled it, May I See the Spark. And this one, in the responsive reading, you begin and I, as the reader, will follow, so we all start together. May I see the spark of holiness in all that I do. May the light of God guide me through the darkness. May my prayers strengthen me, urging me to be present for those who are suffering. May I become a messenger of caring and compassion, a partner with God in the work of healing. May I be guided to fight injustice and to love peace and harmony. May God's blessing be with those who are in my heart as I utter this prayer. May all that is good in life lead me to passion and radiance. We continue now on page 42 with page 43 with Let There Be Love, part of the prayer for evening, the top of the page. In celebration of Shabbat, we continue on page 44 with the singing of Vishamru at the top of the page. It's on us. It was on us from the moment our ancestors were first forced to leave home, charged with understanding their wandering into a blessing for all people. It has been on us since that wandering became encoded in our DNA, from Avram HaIvri, Abram, the one who crossed over, to HaIvrim, to the Jewish people. All of us inheriting the legacy of centuries of crossing from one home to another. As our people became a refugee people, we took on the sacred responsibility to see our story as bound up with the stories of all who continue to wander. We continue now with the tefillah, beginning on page 46. Again, I invite you to rise spiritually, those who are comfortable to rise physically as well. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you.
Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fiya ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zoher HaSteavot v'Imahot, V'mevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Efrat Sarah.
We read together in the English on page 50. We so often chant the Gevurot, it's time to remember what the words actually say. We read together, "You are forever mighty, Adonai, you give life to all. You cause the wind to shift and rain to fall. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign, who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up, and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol." We continue, page 52.
Atah kadosh HaKadosh, Doshim b'chom Yehalelucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. We continue on the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Together, may all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. We continue with Ritzei, with the singing of Ritzei, which you will find in your prayer books on page 57. At this time in our service, we take a moment to think about those things for which we feel appreciation and gratitude and feel blessed throughout our lives, but particularly at this moment, at this Shabbat. We often share this aloud. I'm not sure that our service tonight will allow that kind of time because we have an important guest speaker, and I want to be sure to give her the time to share her wisdom with us as well. But we have to remember that even in the harder moments, it's always important to show appreciation and gratitude for the things in life, whether big and small, and to take that into account with each other. We take a moment just to think about those things in our lives, and I invite you at the Oneg Shabbat later to share that with one another. I offer a prayer for Israel. Avinu Shabashamayim Shechina Mekor Chayinu Tzur Yisrael V'Goalo. Sovereign of all the world, shield Israel beneath your protective presence. May all the inhabitants of Israel know physical safety. May they find the comfort of community as they grieve together, and may they experience a renewed love for their country and its people. Guide Israel's leaders as they balance the necessity of safety and security with the suffering of the innocent. May they act wisely with determination and deliberation. Implant within Israel's citizens compassion, strength, and resolve, and may they be nourished by our love and support. Our prayers are linked with the prayers of countless others as we remember your ancient promise from the book of 2 Samuel. I will establish a home for my people Israel, and will plant them firm so that they shall dwell secure and shall tremble no more. I will give you safety from your enemies. At this time of danger and grief, may we have the audacity to pray for peace, just as our ancestors have done each time they were threatened and terrorized. Natata shalom ba'aretz, we pray that the people of Israel find wholeness and tranquility, and we pray for shalom in the land that we love. We continue with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace, on page 60. At this time in our service, we offer prayers for healing for those in need of our support and need of healing today, this Shabbat. I'll read a prayer in English and pause and give time for you to add the names of those you would like to add to our prayer list this evening. either aloud for us as I look around or in your own hearts before I continue the rest of the prayer in English, and then we sing together on page 253, Misha Berach prayer for healing. O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain, and we join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. The names of those you'd like to add to our prayer lists? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Give them renewed comfort and courage, and strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones, and may they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked with theirs. Baruch atah Adonai Rafeh HaCholim, we praise you, God, the source of healing and health, as we now sing together. So you may think I'm still Rabbi Barbara, but I'm standing in for very large shoes of our social justice chairperson, Paula, who is under the weather. So I am sharing Paula Xanthopoulos' words of introduction and welcoming to our synagogue. Leonis, who is a colleague from Saint-La, and if I don't pronounce things right, I do apologize, and other members of the Haitian community, including some members of our staff as well. Leona Hermanton was born in Haiti and grew up in New York City, and she has more than 20 years of grassroots community experience in Miami's Haitian community. In Miami, she first worked as a visiting professor at FIU's School of Architecture, then as executive director of the Haitian American Foundation. She went on to become director of research and strategic planning at the Haitian Neighborhood Center, Saint-La. And in 2008, Leonie's insights turned to Haiti's rural communities. She served as the deputy director of the Lamdi Fund of Haiti, a Haitian-led community foundation, later launching her own consulting firm, which provides services to the Children's Trust, to, I don't know what FOKAL stands for, but maybe you will help me with that, and to FIU. In April of 2019, she returned to Saint-La as the Director of Special Projects. Leonie holds a Juris Doctorate from the University of California at Berkeley, as well as a master's degree in urban and environmental planning, and she has served on multiple boards and currently sits on the Center for Haitian Studies Board of Directors. She is a proud and engaged member of the Coral Gables Congregational Church. These, again, are Paula's words. I want to stress the word engaged because Paula has known Leonie for many years. She's not just engaged in her church and the Haitian community, but in our civic life across the board, and in many of our ongoing struggles in our community. So without further ado, I want to invite you to our Bima and welcome you, and look forward to learning from you this evening. Following the presentation, I do have a paper that she's asked us to distribute. We thought we would distribute it afterwards so you can listen to her words more clearly now. And if you need water, we get water. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. And in Creole, bon Dieu béni nous. My name is Leonie Hermanton, yes, and I really honored to speak with you tonight about issues of Haitian refugees. I am, the Haitian community, its migration is all grounded on, the horrible situations that have existed in Haiti. My family left Haiti in the 60s with the first wave of migrants, refugees, exiles. We called ourselves exiles, living Haiti under the Duvalier dictatorship. Most of us settled in New York, and again, did not consider ourselves refugees because of the more lenient immigration rules at the time. So we were exiles and quickly found a path to legal residency. The 1970s, in the 70s, the immigration landscape changed, and with efforts to redefine refugee status, particularly for Haitian immigrants. In the 1970s, again with Haiti in the throes of a very violent and brutal dictatorship, and in the context of global social-political changes that would heavily affect the Haitian economy. Hundreds of thousands of Haitians left Haiti, either crossing over to the Dominican borders or going to the Bahamas and just fleeing this dictatorship. Many landed in South Florida, and we just commemorated the 50th anniversary of the first landing of the boat with Haitian asylum seekers that we call boat people. It was a very pejorative term that we sort of have reclaimed to talk about a people whose audacity, its vision, and its tenacity has built, little Haiti and the Haitian community that we know today. When Haitian migrants arrived here in 1973, they were, of course, preceded by Cuban asylum seekers, Cuban refugees who themselves were fleeing from a left-wing dictatorship that was not very friendly to the United States. Unfortunately for us, we were fleeing a right-wing dictatorship that was very friendly to the United States, and thus, as our people were asking for political asylum, asking for refuge, there were attempts to close the doors on us and to tell us that we were not refugees, that we were perhaps economic refugees, but that we were not political refugees. And we know that the definition of refugee is to ask for refuge because of persecution. Persecution for political reasons, religious reasons, gender, and of course, it was decided that the best way to deal with us was to incarcerate us. And so that was the first time in American history that asylum seekers, refugees, were incarcerated. The communities, we were very blessed in the fact that there were justice-loving people in this country who realized what was going on and who joined forces with these new immigrants, new refugees. And those folks that we will never forget, they were African Americans. The first church that opened its doors to us was Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in Liberty City. They gave us a place to stay, because most of us didn't have a place to stay, shelter, food, and support, political support. The other group whose support was also vital to our stay here and our ability to fight against the racist immigration policies were Jewish lawyers. Jewish lawyers in New York, Ira Golubin, Ira Kurzban here, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. How can I forget? Anyway, I'll remember. And Jack Lieberman of late, who died 2 years ago. I can't forget. Steve Forrester. I would be totally angry with myself if I forgot Steve Forrester, who has been still today an incredible fighter for Haitian refugees. So with the assistance of our friends, with the assistance and the support, the incredible support of our friends, we were able to devise strategies, political. We took to the streets. We went to Washington, D.C. We went to the Supreme Court, and we're finally able to win the right to ask for asylum and to find different paths to legal residency here. And so it is out of that group of fighters, of resilient, determined people that the Haitian community in Miami grew to over now 300,000. As we go through Little Haiti, North Miami Beach, we'll find that there are major Haitian enclaves, the majority of whom are the descendants, the children, the grandchildren of those folks who faced the seas, who took their children. We have an attorney here who was she was 2 and her brother was 1, and her mother took to the seas with the babies. We have funeral homes here, Portier Funeral Homes, who buried our dead because there were many bodies washing ashore. And so I just want to express again gratitude. As we look back and we look forward, we have to say we did fight for our own, but we would not have been able to do it if we did not have the support of those folks that I just named. Today, the situation in Haiti, unfortunately, has not changed. In spite of the fact that we did experience a reprieve, and we note that the level of asylum seekers decreases when things are much better in the country, which proves again that Haiti has been poor for a long time, but people do not flee when there's peace. And so the violence has reared its ugly head again. The first wave of out-migration happened after the earthquake, this devastating earthquake that cost the lives of over 200,000. They left for Chile, they left for South America, for Brazil. They were offered opportunities to come. And as the political climate changed in those countries, whether it was Chile or Brazil, the situation for Haitians changed. And so they followed the path that many, from Cuba, from Venezuela, from Nicaragua has followed, and that is to come by foot to the border. And so for the past 3 years, we've had a very heavy wave of asylum seekers at the border coming into this country. I can't begin to tell you how that has transformed our communities. We don't talk too much about it, but it's had its incredible impact on the families that have welcomed migrants, the agencies like ours, and I'd like to point out to some of our, Muriel Augustin, who's from Saint-La, and Paul Nanfi, who's from Family Action Network, which is an organization founded by Commissioner Marlene Bastien, another, incredible fighter for the rights of immigrants. And so as they come in, our agencies, our organizations have had to adapt, adjust to addressing their needs. And so 3 years ago, we had one wave of immigrants, and you've all seen the images of, Cuban, et cetera, coming through the border. And of course, their major destinations, as per USCIS, are Florida, mostly Miami, and New York and Boston, the old traditional enclaves. Almost a year ago now, again, because of the escalating violence in Haiti, Port-au-Prince has become controlled by gangs. Regular folks are living in terror. I think only 20% of the capital of about 3 million people is not controlled by gangs. Gangs have metastasized throughout the country and are making life unlivable for both rich and poor. And so about a year ago, as the Biden administration was granted humanitarian parole visas to Cubans, Venezuelans, and Nicaraguans, some Haitian advocates were able to ensure the inclusion of Haitians from Haiti as humanitarian parolees. And so, again, those of us living here, working here, providing support, capacity building to the new migrants, have had to address the needs of over 80,000 new migrants coming into the country. Again, going to New York, to Boston, a great number of them. We estimate that about 30,000 have come to South Florida. And so, but the situation in Haiti is truly untenable. Girls, we have clients. I mean, I don't want to horrify. It was such a beautiful service. I don't want to give stories of horror, but we have young girls who come, and we have our mental health team that has to work with girls who've been raped, burned. We have a girl who's burned. The level of brutality is just unfathomable, and so. This is what we do. We now, our agencies that used to see maybe 20 people a day have had that number triple, quadruple, and we are, all of us living up to our mission. Our mission is to strengthen, empower, and uplift South Florida's Haitian community, and so for the past 4 years, we've been given a run for our money in being totally honor our mission and mission aligned. So our definition of refugee, again, there's a very small number. Most migrants apply for asylum, but it's a very minute number of applications that are granted asylum status. I think that in the past, in terms of the people that I've seen, I think there was one woman who was given asylum immediately because she was LGBT coming from Haiti and has shown with the scars on her body what standing up for who she was had cost her in terms of the pain, the torture, and so she was given she was given that status at the border. They said, yeah, we believe you. Go ahead. And so, so we still have a community, unlike our other global counterparts who are, people believe them, the immigration magistrates believe them, are given asylum status. It's still an uphill battle for us to ensure that our people receive the kind of credible hearings that they deserve. And so that's it. We're grateful. We're very grateful that we are here to, we work together, we work in partnership, and we are able to really streamline our resources to ensure that our community, our children, receive the services that they need. So I thank you. I thank you in the name of my Executive Director, Gypsy Metellus. I thank you, Paula X. I thank you, Rabbi. And it's truly an honor to be here. Thank you.
It is very intentional that we asked you to speak here from our Bima and not anywhere else, because the matters of how people are cared for and the issues of refugees, asylum seekers, people getting humanitarian parole, which is a very odd status. It was not intended for this purpose, and people get here and then they don't get work permits for great lengths of time. There's a great amount. You've been working with us on many social justice projects over the years, and we continue to work together. Our food collections for the month of February are for Haitian migrants, so please remember that and be generous in your donations this month so that we can take a little bit of edge maybe off of the hunger for some of the people in our community who are in great need, and offer our support to you. The words of our prayers and the readings I've shared tonight are not empty in terms of wanting to offer and do more in these areas to help those in need. And thank you for shedding more light on them for us as well. We are going to move to the concluding parts of our service and continue with the Aleinu on page 282 in our prayer books. Page 282. Please rise. Page 287 at the top of the page. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Together, rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Please be seated. We turn to page 294. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. Tonight we remember the following people whose yahrzeits, the anniversaries of their death, fall at this time. And when I read the name of your loved one, please rise. Louis Adler, Rosa Barrick, Harry M. Barg, Simi Barnett, Jeff Beck, Anna Bernstein, Nettie T. Blasberg, William Blackman, Dorothy Bloomer, Benjamin Joel Bronston, Carola Kane, David Coleman, Gladys Cohen, Sarah Leah Deitch, Dorothy Ann Dubin, Sylvia R. Ellis, Max Farber, Ellen Fine, F. Harold Fisher, Erwin Gartenbaum, Rita Gellis, Adrian Newland Gillette, Alexander Yaros Gerardo, Mary Gittleman, Robert Gold, Monty A. Goldberg, Jules Goldman, Lillian Goldman, Fanny Goldman, Fred A. Goldstein, Harry W. Woodman, Max Green, Morton R. Hirsch, Sylvia Isberg, Adrian Keller, Nettie Marshall Klein, Rose Klein, Hortense C. Korach, Minnie Langsam, Essie Levine, Rita Levy, Esther Markoff, Sarah Narrow, Shepard N. Nelson, Hannah P. Newhouse, Robert B. Rosing, Edith Hodis Rosen, Albert Schlesinger, Monty Selig, Harry Shear, Rose Simon, David Solomon, Isidore Stein, Seth Stropek, Muriel Fall, Dorothy Hirsch Weinstein, Mitchell Wolfson, Rose Gruner Wolfson, Zygmunt Yaros, Moishe Zilber. We all rise as together we recite the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad ivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei techol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imeru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mivarach le'alamu almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'yalma v'imeru, amen. Yehi shlama rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are in mourning, and we please be seated and we say amen. And before we close our service, I'm not sure if I made the thank yous at the beginning of the service to thank Maria's assistant, who is working so ably in helping us with the technology, along with Alex, helping us with Zoom, with our guest soloist, Rebecca Gladstone, and Pat Seymour on the music. The Bima Flowers tonight were sponsored by Judith Stopik in memory of her husband, Seth Stopik. And the Oneg Shabbat tonight is sponsored by Karen and Peter Vermont. So following our Motzi, the blessing over the bread, which I invite you to join us in the center for, and our singing of Aseh Shalom, I invite you to join us downstairs in the Wolfson Auditorium for some refreshments and a more informal time together. And at that time, I will also be passing out the paper with an action item that we can do to help the people in Haiti, and asking our government to halt all further deportations to Haiti of people from here that puts them in almost certain peril. So we usually try to look for action items to do in our social justice work, and I'm thankful that you brought us one to consider with great seriousness. So it's serious enough that you have a double-sided sheet of paper to have the background, the information for you to make your own decision and how to take the action. So the motzi you'll find in your prayer books on page 5, and then we'll sing Oseh Shalom. It's on page 62, amongst other places. We invite all of you who are comfortable to please join us up here. We'll make a circle around the challah, and if some of you would need to keep more of a safer distance for health reasons, we understand that as well. And my most challenging part of things is unwrapping the challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu me'haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Uyaseh, uyaseh, uyaseh shalom. Uyaseh, uyaseh, uyaseh shalom. Uyaseh, uyaseh, uyaseh shalom. May the one who makes peace break peace down, break peace down. May the one who makes peace break peace down, break peace down. May the one who makes peace break peace down, break peace down. May the one who makes peace break peace down, break peace down. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Uyaseh, uyaseh, uyaseh shalom. Uyaseh, uyaseh, uyaseh shalom. Uyaseh, uyaseh, uyaseh shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.